Well, good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for sticking out to the end. It's good to see so many people still here. We're going to take you from Northern Ireland to glorious North Yorkshire now, where we've been applying social prescribing in the context of a complex urban excavation right by the city walls of York. And we're going to talk particularly about how we've made that environment accessible to people, and also how people respond to those measures and help us design them. So I'll hand over to Christina to let us
so we'll go on to the first slide.
down one.
So archaeology prescription, I'm going to do a quick run through. I think most people should have or may have heard about what we're doing. If you haven't, we'll be around for the next couple of days as well. But we want to get to the nitty-gritty of what we want to get down to. We are just about to start our third year of the project. Actually, we got a new cohort starts Monday. So busy. We aim to improve health and well-being, fostering meaningful social connections, building self-esteem and confidence. The programme runs over a year, with participants having 2 7-week-long fieldwork sessions, along with a 15-week winter programme, which is more indoor. We do archive work and we do creative outputs as well. We also, after they graduate, we do a newsletter so they can have multiple graduate opportunities, which lead on to volunteering. And we've even had some people go into working in the heritage industry as well. So accessible, I'm going to stumble on that, aren't I? Archaeology. We have a real diverse audience that we work with. Our participants are referred to us from different avenues, from also directly from NHS through social prescribers, but also through local organisations which work with different groups of people in the local community, from everything from mental health needs to, I've lost track of more.
People recovering from addiction.
Thank you.
People with additional learning needs. It's a very
mixed audience. So our sessions are people from multiple different backgrounds that all come together and have a nice curiosity for archaeology. We have made some adaptations to make it accessible for everyone, not just physical adaptations, but also for other needs as well. But we're very much participant-led. When our participants come through the door, we literally let them lead what the experience is for them. I start every session off saying we have like a pick and mix of different activities that they can choose which ones they want to do, and they can choose which activity they want to do in that particular session. But some of our participants just turn up is just enough to start the process for them. We have stage excavation, as you can see in the slide. We have multiple levels, so people don't need to be able to kneel and actually excavate down the floor. We have seating and adaptation tools, and they can dig in different positions as well if they wish to excavate. We do have fines washing as well, citing other activities. Staff training, we have a wide range of training, so we can try to make as adaptations as possible as we're going through the programme. We have a really low staff to participant ratio, so we can give our time and knowledge to people as and when they need it. Limited numbers, so we have stage social mixing, so we start off with quite small numbers and we move to larger groups of people as they progress through the programme. Just mention that. We also have a quiet space available, so if anyone does need it, they've got a space that they can go to, just have a bit of them time, and they can rejoin the group as and which they want to. We're constantly evaluating through the whole of the process, and we do find ourselves adapting as we're going along to individual participants' needs as we're going along through the process. And along that with, we manage the enrolment and the endings as well. So it's very much a stepping stone programme, so every participant knows what the next step is along the process.
So all of that is designed to bring people the pure joy of archaeology. For anyone that's ever done digging before, sometimes you will find yourself completely lost in what you're doing, and we really want to bottle that and generally avoid medicalised language on site. This is a place where people can be archaeologists first. It's a very unifying thing. One of our worries has been what the participant response to that is. Do people feel condescended? Do they feel othered? We have to make sure we're doing this fairly. So we created an accessibility survey that we've been running around. We're talking today about the kind of preliminary results from that. We're going to go a little deeper into it as time progresses. Basically, what we wanted to not assume was that we could do something really well-intentioned and have it not necessarily received as well as we thought it could be. And the general evaluation that we do as part of the program is overwhelmingly positive. We were really worried that people had just had a great time. We're very grateful for it, and being almost excessively positive in their feedback, because they don't want the project to end. They want other people to enjoy the same benefits they have. There's also the joy of a longitudinal evaluation. So people further down the line, after they've graduated from the program, they've reflected on it. As Christina says, some people have gone on to independent volunteering, employment. We can see how they're doing and how they've considered that after a longer period of time. And we've had some unexpected themes as well, which we're going to go through the questions now. There's 6 ones that we've picked out. We had quite a few responses. So we've picked out ones that really caught our eye to share with you. First one was how the accessibility measures had, what kind of impact that had on the time on the program, and which ones people preferred. I won't read out all the responses, but we're going to kind of draw out a couple of themes that came out of this. Quite a couple of people here have mentioned our quiet space. I've heard several other people mentioning these, and I think they really are best practice for any kind of heritage project. I think one of the sessions I saw earlier mentioned the busyness of a trench. It can be a lively atmosphere. There's a lot of laughter and conversation, but that can be overwhelming. Not many people used it, did they?
No, not many people used it, but the fact we actually had it set up from the get-go, they actually found it reassuring that they knew that space was available to them if they needed it.
Yeah, so I think that's something that people absolutely appreciate and would wholly recommend. Next up, as Christina's alluded to, we're taking people from different backgrounds, different age groups, different ethnic backgrounds, as well as socioeconomic. Mixing those people, different conditions, could that perhaps have a negative impact on the programme? We had quite a mixed response here. Some people said that being in that group just made it feel normal. You know, they could not worry about it. One individual raised the issue that some people may be experiencing a negative response to something could be challenging to be around. So there's certainly been a positive overall response to that, but as each person has their own needs, it doesn't come without challenges. So
I think it all depends on the people in that one session and where they are in their journey as well.
Yeah.
On recovery.
The really nice thing that we did see is that as people progressed through the kind of social mixing and forming bigger groups, there was a kind of peer support network organically forming. I think there's some real power in that we've seen. Next, we asked whether the accessibility measures kind of help you forget any needs that you may have, or perhaps think about them more. And we had a real mixed bag, didn't we?
Yeah, really mixed bag. A lot of people were appreciative of everything that we did on the site, but also a lot of people actually made them think about outside of our project and the access needs that they have and how it's actually inputting other parts of their lives.
Yeah, really mixed response, but overall definitely positive. There's one individual that springs to mind that used a walking aid to walk side, but didn't use it at all on site.
And then walked off site with it.
Yeah, it was quite strange. We also wanted to know what improvements people may suggest. As Christina said earlier, we kind of, when people come to site, we generally say, right, tell us what you need, we'll develop it together, how we can make you achieve as much as you would like to. One person suggested divine intervention in climatic conditions, working on it, but not there yet.
Unfortunately, we work in Yorkshire.
We do indeed. Trenches are getting deeper. We've had handrails suggested. Some of the spaces for outdoor spaces were quite busy and loud. We may have to think about how we do that in the future, but I think the key takeaway from myself is that we got the participants into a space where they were happy to offer criticism and engage in that conversation. They weren't just trying to be overwhelmingly positive. So it was a really honest answer that we really appreciated.
Yeah, we try and keep the dialogue open with all our participants so they feel confident enough and comfortable enough to actually tell us any needs that we can adapt for them to engage in the project.
It's a nice environment. Next up, we asked, do you feel that your needs were fully considered on the programme? Did you feel comfortable discussing your needs with the staff? This is building upon that. I'm wanting a little bit more feedback. This was really, really positive, actually. Christina, clearly the star of the show, is particularly good at just getting people to express these needs and just feel comfortable and listened to. And I think that is absolutely key. And one thing that we drew from that was the mutual benefits. We can make one gentleman arrived not expecting to be able to get into a trench, and in the end we couldn't get him out.
Not because they couldn't, because they didn't want to leave the trench.
Just say that. But I think there's a mutual benefit. You know, because people are involved from the get-go, they feel comfortable to make these suggestions. We hopefully can make them then, and we benefit as well as the participant, which I think is really, really key. And then one that really I thought was important, as we mentioned earlier, this is meant to be an environment where you can just be an archaeologist, find things, discover, make interpretations. So he wants to know whether we'd achieved that kind of escapism and how this made people feel. Again, I won't read these out, but some of them did make me a little bit emotional. And I think it demonstrates that our worries about accessibility were probably excessive. I think we've learned it has to be considered. You can't assume that someone will necessarily like something. You can't assume there's a silver bullet that will suit everybody. But the whole process and the conversations that we have allow the experience to be immersive. And the top one there, we are all archaeologists. I like that. It's a unifying thing. So we'll summarise now. It's been a brief journey through our survey. We'll hope to discuss more about that and hopefully bring some interviews and videos to possibly a later publication. So accessibility absolutely can and should be embedded into wellbeing focused projects, but we do need to manage it carefully. Days like today are wonderful because we can all do our presentation, share experience, and make these contacts. But I think, Christina, making people part of the conversation as opposed to having adaptations made on their behalf, I think that's something that has to be kept.
As long as they feel comfortable and willing to talk about it, we want to keep that dialogue open. Even if they don't feel comfortable at the very, very start of the programme, they tend to sort of open up as they come through time. And if they see something's maybe not quite right for them, generally they'll let us know. But we have the flexibility on the project to make the adaptations as we go through the project.
Yeah, which leads on to the next part here. That I think accessibility measures become a given. You almost don't notice it. That is the kind of the flow that we've been hoping to achieve. And also, finally, that kind of sense of mutual trust. It fosters security, encourages people to actively engage. You're not just turning up, you're part of the team, you're helping design it. And the longer engagement that we have to people with subsequent evaluations such as this and later focus groups and volunteering means that the people that come through the programme could help to shape the future of it. And we're just really getting to grips with that now. So I think we're on time, Desi. So thank you very much for listening.
Thank you.
Thank you.